Hello and welcome to another episode of the Steam Free-to-Play, and this will actually be the last episode of the Steam Free-to-Play, as I've achieved my goal. If we look here in Mech Select, I have 3 of each weight class ready to rock, ready to kick some butt, all set up with builds and fully equipped. But let's take a look at a few things that I did off of camera. Actually, it was kind of annoying. I was recording, and I was like, hey, I'm going to do this and this to be the final thing. And then my computer froze, because my computer does that every so often. And that footage was lost. But let's take a look here. Go into the mech bay, the mech lab for the Hellbringer B here. I have it set up with the 4ER Medgauss rifle build. But if we go to the modules tab, we will see that I have purchased some modules, and I've started to equip the mechs that way. We have the seismic sensor, which we won in a supply cache, which is amazing. A great C-bill value out of that. But we actually purchased radar deprivation and ER medium laser range 5. So what we did is we went into our skills, we went to our pilot trees, and we purchased some of these upgrades here. And we went into our weapons and we found ER medium laser range, and we upgraded it as well. So this is the use for your GXP. As you see, I used to have like 70,000, and now I have only 6,500. And I used to have like 9-10 million C-bills. I spent them all on these wonderful modules, and I'm down to just 240,000. So yeah, that is the account. I'm done with this thing. So we're going to spend the majority of the time in this episode actually doing some Spreadsheet Warrior. As if we click over here and Alt Tab, Spreadsheet Warrior has been updated with a free-to-play final results. I'll probably rename this the Steam free-to-play final results there. This is all of my stats from playing the free-to-play. And unfortunately, you're going to have to watch this on 1080p in a full screen on a computer monitor to be able to see all these details. I know some people like to watch things on their phones and such like that, so unfortunately, it's not going to work out for you. You're going to have to watch this one at home or at work, wherever you want to watch the episode on a computer screen to be able to see that. We can see all the different mechs that I ran over this time. You'll be like, what? You ran all of those? I did. There was the trial mechs. I never owned this many mechs, but I certainly had them through trials. So there's the Arctic Cheetah that I ran for a few times, the Enforcer that I had some painful matches with, and then but we can definitely see. Who did I run the most? Stormcrows, that's for sure. Stormcrow Prime, 145 matches. Stormcrow Delta, 126. Stormcrow Charlie, 80. So you can definitely see my preference towards Stormcrows. They're the most played out of anything, with the next highest being the Warhawks, then the Hellbringers, and probably I haven't done that much on the Hellbringers because they're the last ones I purchased. But you can see here I got to about 30 matches on average for my Kit Foxes, and I didn't play them as much. You can see which ones had more how well I did on them, which ones carried their weight by looking at the wins and losses and the ratio here. So when I was playing on my Hellbringers, I'm getting an average about 2 win-loss ratio. So 1.37, 1.88, 2.33, enough of a sample size there to say about 1.9 sort of range. But we can see with the Kit Foxes, 1.06, 1.2, 1.9, so more like a 1.3 on average sort of thing. So a little bit lower. The rest of these mechs, like the Catapult A1, 0, because I only played one match and lost it. Whereas things like the Timberwolf C that I played as a trial, 10 matches, 9 wins, 1 loss, 9 KDR, win-loss ratio. So did quite well. We can see the Stormcrows, consistent. 2.08, 1.93, 2.54. So the Stormcrows really carried their weight. Just over 2, maybe a 2.1, 2.2 sort of win-loss ratio. And that information also went the trend carried on into the kill-death ratios, where we can see the Kit Foxes are holding their own sort of at a 1.4 area. These ones are at 1.6s, this is 1.23, and the Hellbringers are up there at 2.5 pretty consistently. 2.52, 2.5, 2.25, so like 2.4 on average for those ones. And the Stormcrows, the most played Stormcrow, 3.31, very nice, with 2.97, 2.12, so around 3, maybe just below, maybe like 2.9 sort of area. So you can see the Stormcrows definitely kicked butt. And then Warhawk, this is the funny one. Warhawk B is the one I played it the most, and it's the one that it was set up with LRMs, and it has the best KDR because it can just sit back and chuck damage, with 3 of the rest of them are down below too, which is just funny. We can see damage done, XP, time played in every mech, which all adds up to a whopping 85 hours of game time that I have played on this account. Not all of that was recorded and put onto the channel, but wow, that's a significant portion of my life there. Several straight days of playing. It's like an hour a night for 3 months. Wow. Which I obviously didn't do that because this took me a hell of a long time to finish. But there's even more statistics. There's all the weapons I ever fired during the free-to-play. Of course, there's a bunch of IS weapons here. That's because I did IS trials. It's weird kind of bug on them. It says I didn't take an AC-20 into a match, but I fired it 9 times, and I hit 4 of those. That's a little strange. And 0 time to equip, so a little bit of a bug with the stats, but it's the best I've got. We can see for a lot of my mainstay weapons, we've got the Clan Gauss Rifle, 74% accuracy. We got the ER Medium Laser, which is one of the powerhouses for me, with 89% accuracy, and the Clan Large Pulse Laser, 92% accuracy, with 85,000 damage from the ER Meds, 77,000 damage for the Large Pulse. And the next big one, Clan SRMs for damage, 39,000, almost 40,000 damage with Clan SRM 6s plus Artemis. So I think, of course, lasers are going to have a higher percent accuracy just because they'll consider a hit if you start shooting off of the mech and then get onto them for like at least a tick or two sort of thing. So if you rake your laser across somebody and you miss 90% of it, well, you still hit for 10%, and hit or miss is binary, so hit for any quantity will mean that, you know, it counts as a hit. So you can see these ones having very consistently 85 or higher sort of range. ER Med is a little bit less than Large Pulse, because there was probably several times where I'd fire Large Pulse and ER Meds at the same time, where the target was out of range for the meds, and therefore it would count as a miss. So it's kind of interesting. But the real ones of skill are the Ultras and the Gauss Rifle here. So you can see 77% with the Ultra AC5, the Ultra 10s at 71%, the 20s at 83%, and the Gauss Rifle's at 74.5% accuracy. Wow, that's nice. I threw out 1,243 Gauss Rifle rounds and hit with 927 of them. So you can see a total. I fired 148,000 times. I hit 97,000 times for an average of 63% accuracy over those 85 hours and dealt a total of 338,000 damage. That's awesome. We can also see here on the right side, I'll do a little bit probably cleanup of this in the future, but I just did some basic conditional formatting for the start. All the different maps, how many times I played on them, how many wins, losses ratio, and how long. Let's see, Polar was the most played on map and got 53 wins, 29 losses for a 1.83. We played on it for 10 and almost 11 hours. 11 hours running around the frozen tundra. we can going down the ranking here. Canyon Network was the second most played, with 7 hours and 50 minutes. And the next after that would be 64 matches on Viridian Bog, with 6 hours and 46 minutes. And then HPG Manifold, Mining Collective are tying for 63 matches with about 6 hours apiece. And Grim Plexus is next, followed by Caustic Valley, and then you can just go down the list. But the map that I won the most on was Alpine Peaks, interestingly. The 27 times that I got it, I won 22 of those, only losing 5 times for a 4.4 ratio. That's interesting. I didn't realize I was doing that well on Alpine Peaks. Maybe something about the builds just made it work. Of course, the worst one I had was Hellbore Springs in the amount of counter-attacking and stuff I did on that map. It was painful. You can see counter-attack, 4 losses. All 4 of them, I believe, were on Hellbore Springs. That's where I got all 4 of my losses, where my wins were on Sulphurous Rift and Grim Portico. That's interesting. But out of that, Frozen City Night, the old version of Frozen City, got 3 ratio. And then my favorite map, Caustic Valley, 2.35. Okay. It's my favorite. So I was hoping that I was getting a higher ratio on it. But you can see sort of there's this cluster of maps here that are getting 2s and 3s for my win-loss ratio. And there's this cluster down here that are getting like 1.5s for my win-loss ratio, which I'm still trending to the positive. I'm still over 50% of... No, wait, no, not 50%. I'm winning 2 to 1. More than 2 to 1 on those maps. But still. Interesting. Terra Therma. Oh, 0.88. We only played it for 15 times out of all of it. So quite a rare occurrence, but sadness when it did occur. And look down at the modes. Assault, Skirmish. Skirmish is most played. 319 matches, 1.63. But I won the most in Assaults with 175 matches for a 1.87 ratio. And then Conquest came in last for the amount of times played, but still a good ratio, 1.71. So again, trending the positive, over a 1 win-loss ratio. Scouting, holy crap, look at Scouting, 4.36. We kicked ass in Scouting with 61 wins to 14 losses in the 75 matches that I played on it. Domination, 90 matches, and again, sort of a similar ratio for across game mode. So it's not like a single game mode is the absolute best for me, well, besides Scouting, it seems. The four core game modes are about equal in terms of my performance on them. With CBIL earnings, wow, 49 million in Skirmish, 28 million in Assault, 21 million in Conquest, 13 million in Domination, and almost 8 million in Scouting, for a total of 122.8 million CBILs earned. Wow. And we did a total of 78 matches. So if we do that, CBIL earned divided by 780 matches, we get a total of approximately 157,000 CBILs per match. On average, that would be what I'd earn. It's very interesting. Well, I'm not sure what other stats I can get into this on this episode. It's going to be kind of a short one. There's these stats, they're on the Spreadsheet Warrior. Check it out on your own time. Play with the numbers, of course. It's always fun. I guess the one other thing that I want to do for this final thing here is do sort of just my general impressions of what Steam free-to-play was like for me as the content creator. You guys are the content consumers. You've been along for the journey. But for me, playing it, what the new game experience was like, well, I mean, I can comment on it, although I'm not really a new player to the game, of course. What the grind progression was like, all that kind of stuff. I definitely, the one thing that is still my number one priority when it comes to grinding out mechs, on doing it specifically on a free account, is the fact that you need triplets in order to elite something. Because that really held me back through this entire playthrough. The fact that if I was going to go Kit Foxes, I needed 3 Kit Foxes. If I'm going to go Stormcrows, I need 3 Stormcrows. That thing. Because just the way the skill tree is set up, the fact that for basic, you need 3 of like 3 different variants, and for elite, you need 3 different chassis within a weight class. It's backwards. It really should be flipped around. I would love it. It would have been so much more interesting from not only a gameplay experience in terms of me enjoying playing it, but also from a making interesting videos about the game. Instead of having to say, okay, I need 3 Kit Foxes, if I could have picked up a Kit Fox, a Arctic Cheetah, and a Jenner 2C, or a Adder, and gone and gotten my elites, not my master, not the final, how do I have it here? Going to my Stormcrows here, because they haven't. Not modules, not the Master. Master, you should have 4 to 4 elites on a single chassis. But to get elites, you should be able to go in the weight class, because it would just be so much better variety. Because I could switch around, I could do vastly different builds. I could buy a single adder and then just buy omnipods. Wouldn't need to buy multiple variants of the adder. I could just buy the Arctic Cheetah. I don't know which one has the ECM, the Prime, and I could just play with the Prime. I could switch omnipods around. It would be so much better. That'd be the number one thing, definitely. And the next thing would most likely be mech bays. They're pretty good on giving out mech bays, but what I've noticed they've been doing in events is they've been going, here's some quantity of MC instead. It'd be nice if every, say, I don't know, month? I think that would be worthwhile. I say once a month at least, one of your events has a mech bay as a grindable reward. So like, get 20 wins with value over something, with a match score over something, get a mech bay. Not like get 50 MC for a bunch of little things and you try to cobble you together MC and purchase a mech bay for 300. Just give a mech bay. That'd be nice. Because that got kind of annoying at the end, where the free-to-play stalled because I was running out of places to get mech bays. I know you can get them in faction play, and I did do that. I did go through, and if we look at the contracts here in a second, my reputation, I got them in Falcon and Ghost Bear. I got 2 mech bays through that route, so that's great. But still, it'd be nice to have, we'll say once a month, once every month and a half, throw a mech bay at the general population. That'd be good. But for me, what am I going to do next after this? This free-to-play is like defined what I've been doing, how I've been thinking about the game for a significant portion of time since I started it when it went out on Steam last December, and it's September. Wow. That was a long time. I think next for me after this is I'm going to be playing basically exclusively on my main account now. I'm not going to do another free-to-play in the future. I've done it twice. I've done the Road to CW, and I did the Steam free-to-play. Unless they do something absolutely ridiculous and sort of reset the game and it's completely different, I won't do another free-to-play. I'll just be playing on the main account. But what I want to do something like Molten Metal's been doing it. I've been really jealous of it because I've been busy, but I want to try doing something like it. He's been doing his daily doses. I don't want to specifically steal that, but I'd like to do more of my mech build videos. I'd like to do like 2 a week or maybe 3 a week, something along those lines, whatever I can fit into my schedule. But they would be more just like, I could just sit down on my main account and go, what's a cool mech? We'll throw this together. I'll buy it, we'll run it, I'll have some laughs, and put it out there as a video. But I think that's going to be it for this episode. The final episode, a little bit short. It's been just me talking. There's been no action. It's a recap. It's been a long journey. This is episode 77 of the Steam free-to-play. Thanks for watching the entire series, and good hunting.